What if I told you that you could play 2025's Game of the Year today?
Are you sure about that?
It sounds crazy, but it might just be true. So yeah, I just got off the couch, just watched the Green Bay Packers lose to the Chicago Bears for the first time since 2018. You know what? I'm sitting there watching and I'm complaining and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's been a great run. 10 games of just beating one team over and over again. Why am I so negative about this one loss? Like, I should do something positive with my time right now rather than sitting here sulking in this loss. And so rather than doing that and just being sad and curled up in bed all day, I said, let's look at the games for 2025. Let's see what we have coming in 2025. And there are some potential bangers in 2025. Let's look at February alone. February 4th, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. February 11th, Civilization 7. Civ 7's coming, guys. And despite the controversy, AC Shadows drops on February 14th. And despite all the controversy around that and whether or not that game's actually going to be good, I want to get my hands on it. I want to see what that game is. I want to see if it's as bad as we kind of expected it to be, or if it surprises and at least the gameplay's fun. And then on February 18th, Avowed comes out. I know that's had some recent controversies too, but like, I've seen some of the gameplay and the gameplay looks pretty fun. I like those kinds of games and I'm actually really excited about that. February 20th, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii drops. I'm not a huge fan of that series. I've enjoyed my time with it, but I can't say I've ever beaten one of those games, but I do like what they do, and there is a huge following for those games, so I bet they're really excited. And speaking of something that's not for me, but people should be excited about if they are into that franchise, Monster Hunter Wilds drops on February 28th, and that's just February. All those games drop within days of each other, and that's insane. So not only do we have that, we have other games coming, like Mafia: The Old Country is supposed to come out this summer. I love the Mafia franchise, even Mafia 3, even though it's a heavily flawed game. I like what those games have to offer. I feel like when those came out, it was around the time when people were saying, well, it's just another GTA clone or something of the like, but we don't get a lot of GTA clones, so I want to play a GTA clone in 2025. Speaking of GTA, obviously, GTA 6 is supposed to be coming out in 2025. I don't know if it will, but it's supposed to. Then other games coming out like Doom: The Dark Ages, Death Stranding 2, Fable, Ghost of Yotai, The Outer Worlds 2, 2XKO, which is like the League of Legends fighting game that's coming out, and then even a small game like 33 Immortals, which is like a 33-player multiplayer roguelike, which sounds dope. None of those have release dates, but I'm extremely excited and hopeful for those games. I think those games are going to be mostly awesome, and if they're not going to be awesome, they'll at least be interesting and worth having a conversation about. And then we have some other games that may hit 2025, but I kind of doubt it. Like, we haven't seen anything else from Wolverine, Gears of War E-Day, Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater, and then Marathon, which is Bungie's new shooter, which, man, Sony really needs that to hit for them, seeing that Concord failed so miserably. And it's interesting because we have so much to look forward to in 2025, and we're barely a week into 2025. And the crazy thing about that to me is it being 1 week into this year at the time of recording this video, there's a chance that you can play the game of the year today, and there's a chance that I've already been playing the game of the year for the past couple of weeks now. Marvel Rivals and Path of Exile 2 both came out around a similar time, or at least they went into early access around a similar time, the end of last year, but are going to be actual like full releases come 2025. Hey guys, Future Nico here. I'm actually sitting here and editing this video right now, and as I was editing and working on getting footage and whatnot, I realized that I was wrong, that Marvel Rivals actually fully came out, or was a full release on December 6th, 2024. It is not an early access anymore. It is a full release game at the time that I'm releasing this video and recording this video and editing this video. So I was just wrong all along, but still I think my point holds for the rest of this video, because Marvel Rivals would not be eligible for something like the Game Awards for 2024 because it came out at a later date. So if it's ever going to get any sort of recognition for any awards, it's going to be for 2025. So I think my point still holds. It's still going to be good for a 2025 Game of the Year candidate or something worth talking about in 2025. So I'm technically wrong. It is a 2024 game, but we'll still continue this video, and I think the point still stands. All right, back to the video. Marvel Rivals is free to play. Path of Exile 2 will be free to play. I paid for the early access. And listen, I've played a lot of Marvel Rivals. Maybe not as much as some people, but for me, it's a lot of hours into a multiplayer game. And then I've barely scratched the surface of Path of Exile 2. Please. Let's go! Woo! That's so much fun, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, I played it pretty late into the night last night, super early this morning, and it finally clicked with me, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna be so addicted to this game. And that's the thing, both of these games, Marvel Rivals and Path of Exile 2, have extremely satisfying gameplay. And they're both very rewarding in the moment to moment, whether it's getting new loot whenever you're playing Path of Exile 2, or with Marvel Rivals, when you the sound of when you do something good, or you get a kill, or you get a good res, or you get a good play.
Please, they're so lit. Please, they're so lit. They're so lit.
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
And you can all watch your teammates' highlights and all of those things. It's all extremely satisfying and rewarding. But both of those games have a lot of depth to them as well. They're not just point, click, destroy. Like, it may look like that at first, and if that's all you want, that is what you get. But if you really want to get good at those games, or you really want to enjoy what those games have to offer, you have to go in and Marvel Rivals, start playing more than one character. Hard for me to say that when I've put 21 hours into Adam Warlock, but the more you experience other characters, whether it be like a Vanguard or what, I don't even remember the terms of it, but the other strategy roles or the other roles, there's so much to learn. All those characters play extremely differently. The same thing with Path of Exile 2. There's just so many systems. Obviously, if you look at this, the passive skill tree, that thing alone is super intimidating, but there's just a lot to dig into, and you can spend hours and hours. And I think what we're going to find is you can spend days, weeks, months, maybe years in these games. Marvel Rivals has a potential to be one of those forever games, something like a Fortnite or Minecraft or any of those kind of like shooters like Valorant or CS. Like, there's a potential that this game could be a long-lasting multiplayer game if it just continues to do things the way that they're doing now and just improve on season by season. I know that's really hard, but if there's any game that has any potential to do it, I think it's Marvel Rivals. And Path of Exile 2, I think they've taken the formula of the Diablo games and have just made a better version of that, or at least one that feels quite modern. I love dodge mechanics that they've added to it. I love how that game just plays and feels. It's not just mindless, like you have to engage with it. And all of these things, all these factors, makes them so addicting. That rewarding feeling, that feeling of just it clicking and then you getting that one awesome moment after another is so addicting, which really surprises me because I am not an Overwatch fan. I played a little bit of it whenever it first came out, and I didn't really play Diablo 2. I played mostly Diablo 3, which even then I could probably say I've played a total of 12 hours, 15 hours. I didn't spend a lot of time into it. So those aren't even my types of games. They're not games I gravitate towards, but I love them dearly, and I do look at them and think, man, these could be my games of the year come December 2025. And while I think GTA 6, Mafia: The Old World, Ghost of Yotei could easily be my game of the year in 2025, maybe even a game I don't know about might be my game of the year in 2025, something can surprise me like Balatro did in 2024. It's so easy for us to get lost in the excitement and the hype of what is to come that we miss out on what we have in front of us right now. And what we have in front of us is so good that it'd be a shame if we dismissed them for the unknown. It's always important to hope for something better. That keeps us moving forward. It allows us to not be stagnant, but looking at what we have now, the things that bring us joy today, and being appreciative of those things helps make the waiting all the more easier. So with that being said, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for these games coming out. I do think GTA 6 might be a shoe-in for Game of the Year for everybody if that does actually drop this year. But man, Path of Exile 2, Marvel Rivals are incredible games that I see myself putting hours and hours and hours upon this year. But that's enough for me. I want to know what games you're looking forward to the most in 2025, and what are the games that you're playing right now? What are the things that you love doing right now? I want to hear from you. I'd love to hear that. But until then, take it easy.